And we are recording.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Alright. So, for our recap this week, it's gonna be done from the arms of Joshua.
Alrighty. Well, I don't really speak through my arms, but I can
him
give the old college
cradle
try.
us in his arms as he tells the story.
Josh?
Ooh.
Yes.
Stop talking. No, other Josh.
He can't. He's got to tell the recap.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you don't want to be cradled in my arms?
I'm saying I want Josh to stop being weird.
Good luck.
Never gonna happen.
All right.
I know.
So, last
you know
week.
what, Ryan? Sometimes me and you both.
Baby.
So, last week, things started off with we spent some time with our new cook friends that are staying at the estate. They decided that the plan for the day would be to go swimming, which is what we did as a group. K2 decided he wanted to show off his masculine wiles and decided he was going to woo his target by swimming down river for 3 days.
It was specifically requested.
Yeah, that's fair. Made this decision after the request was made, despite the warnings of several of his party members. Upon realization that he had genuinely taken up this task, the rest of the party just kind of was like, how about that? Rested for the evening, retrieved their mounts, and then made their way towards Nigel's Point in hopes of reconnecting with their friend before heading to Brand. Is that pretty accurate? Pretty accurate sum up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Oh, also, I got super blown off by the chick I'm into, but that's okay.
Look, all I'm saying is I've seen kamikaze pilots that have hit with less impact than that landing did.
Hey man, I mean, it happens to the worst of us.
Aren't you busy drowning?
I'm on a raft, motherfucker.
He's on a
Yeah,
boat, motherfucker.
you got blown off so hard, she went and slept with 3 other women instead.
Oh.
You say that like I should be insulted.
You take that as you will.
Yeah.
You're just not getting it from her.
Like I
Honestly,
said, we'll find you a nice lady.
if that happened to me, I would be like, I totally get it. I would do the same thing.
I know.
Bro. Same.
Fair. Alright, so we will pick up with most of the party waking from a long rest together, one person waking from a long rest alone.
Correct.
I'm never alone.
On a raft. On a river.
Motherfucker.
At the end of day 1 of 3, you are approximately right there.
Oh, do we have visual aids? Fun.
Yay!
And the party is approximately into this one here.
Anywhere else.
Right here.
Wow, you guys taking the scenic route, I guess.
Why would we go so far out?
Because that's how the
where
road goes.
We just don't see the roads.
See, like if we had a palisade on this elephant, you could have gone off-roading.
Hey, you know what? You leave Jamal alone, alright? He is doing a lot of work.
Jamar?
Jamal.
Wow.
The
That's his
fuck,
name. His name
man.
is Jamal. I didn't
You
know
had
him.
You had a conversation with this man. I think you could remember his name.
I do remember his name.
Mm-mm. I love how the roads make a heart in the middle.
Yeah, they do. Surrounding a Nigel's Point brand.
Oh, he's got the image of it.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, I don't see any. Didn't we
That's-
comment that that was a butt before?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the booty. If you flip
And
it
now-
upside down.
And now it's a heart.
Listen, I wasn't here for the booty conversation.
If you flip it
Ah.
upside down, it's a booty. If you look at it right way up, it's some boobies.
I mean, the
You know what,
movies
you're right.
are
You're right.
where the heart are by.
Less
That
so
was a
near the
weird
booty.
way to say it.
the boobies are where the heart is by. Yeah, that was
I mean, the heart isn't in the movies. I avoided that incorrect statement.
Okay, I mean, fair.
that would be. Oh, I'm thinking of that now, and I'm very uncomfortable.
I feel like on top might have worked a little better.
I don't want to think
Sounds-
about having my heart in my boobies.
I
So
don't
strange.
I also don't want to think about that.
Wait, you know what? I'm not gonna ask.
Probably for the best. That was a wise decision to make.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, Jesus,
I
I
don't-
wasn't here.
I don't think he's playing a part here, Captain.
Anyway,
Yep, that was the thing that just, Yep.
well, while we continue on our journey, I will be periodically feeding Jamal snacks.
I'm reading my book.
Okay.
I missed him.
Yeah, that's yeah.
The party token is gonna be this Earth Elemental.
Oh, he's a cute little guy.
Oh my God.
Right there.
There you go.
Hey, that
That's what
looks
the party is.
familiar.
Oh, I wonder where that's from.
Oh, that's funny.
Don't you fucking patron me.
So, you journey on your day. K2, as you are traveling during day 2, as you make it further downriver, by the end of this day, the river literally down. You are at an ever so slight incline, or decline, I should say, as the ground around you begins to raise up as you go down. You are traveling into a portion of the land that has been cut by the river.
Wait, what?
You're descending into
You're
a
right.
valley,
You're-
essentially.
yeah, essentially.
You're
Yeah.
coming up on
Oh,
mini
okay.
rapids.
Not rapid,
Oh,
but and you're just
Okay.
on a decline
okay.
as the land around you is
So what you're saying is I'm speeding up.
yeah.
Cool, that's what I wanted.
Yep, you are speeding up as you are declining down toward ocean floor. Well, ocean level. Sea
Okay.
level.
Oh,
That
sure.
way.
That's great, honey.
You got there.
I got there.
You would think there would be more rapid, like a more decline over by the mountains at the delta of this river.
There is.
Okay. So do they go back uphill and then downhill to get
Nope.
back to sea level?
They do not.
Okay.
It's magic, don't question it.
Yeah,
I
the
do
rapids, the
I do
river
magic.
goes back up level. Yeah, no.
No, Josh doesn't know how to say words.
It's true. I don't.
Sea is below sea level, actually, so.
The sea level is actually below sea level.
I
What?
thought. Wait. What?
Your confusion is the whole point. Thank you.
All right, the rest of the party.
Wait, so if we're below sea level, does that mean we're
No,
on
you're
sea
not.
level?
You're not.
You're thinking too hard, Doyle.
That means we're getting a failing grade, Doyle.
Now you're on F level.
Yes, I is. Wait.
Hey Tori, you want to go join a cult while they fuck around with this?
Cult? I like cults.
All right, rest of the party. You continue on your journey
Okay.
as you travel up toward the high city of Lore.
Okay.
Making it this far.
Ooh, look at us go.
Wow.
We're zooming.
Nyom.
Guys, we're zoomers!
Mm.
Mm-mm.
Yikes.
Stop.
Pass.
So, as you have traveled for the day and are beginning to rest for the evening, what are your watches?
Stick to my number 1.
I'll be on second watch.
Me watch with Raylan.
Me watch with Reelan.
All right, so second watch.
Yep.
Third. First.
Alright, I'll go
I have to
third.
think about that one.
First.
I was gonna go third, but then I'm like, wait. I want to go with Tori. I miss Tori.
All right, so
So-
that leaves
What do you-
Zarkalian and Atchemer for a third.
What do you mean? Rob and Agnes hung out a couple nights ago.
Don't fucking worry about it.
No, this is just going to be that awkward conversation afterwards.
So. Anyways.
All right, first watch, perception checks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right,
Okay,
conversation.
Doing things.
I like to imagine we're both just like lounging on Jamal.
Yeah. Every night.
Leave my elephant alone.
Fuck off! It's mine.
Oh, I will fight you.
Anyways, yeah, we're just living on Jamal, and like every now and then, as I like read my book, I'm like, this is a weird bird.
A weird
And like
what?
that's. I got a book of animals and such, and just every now and then, just that's a weird bird. And then just keep going. I'm like,
I
we're
like
just
roll
chilling.
over to look at the birds.
Yeah.
It is a weird bird. Why does it have feathers coming out of it? That's
Don't ask me. I don't know these things. That's why I read the book.
what does the book say? Why does the
She just like squints at the book. Mating.
interesting?
Dumb
That
bird.
seems practical.
Yeah.
We're both
just
avoiding the conversation. We're talking about
Listen,
birds.
we're just sailing past it. It doesn't exist. It sailed past it. Like,
Yep. She sailed past mine, I sailed past hers.
yep. Like, listen, if we don't bring it up, it doesn't exist. That was a thing in Serenia. Cool. Now we're gonna read a book about birds while hanging out on an elephant.
What happens in Serenia and Stonesboro stays in Serenia and Stonesboro.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's our watch.
All right, second watch, perception checks.
Yay.
Hmm.
Damn it.
Me, passive perception 20, rolls 9. Dog, passive perception 13, rolls 22.
It do be like that sometimes.
Conversation.
Well, that was an interesting few days.
Oh, yes, yes. It was quite enjoyable. But I have to tell you, I'm a little. It is always hard to leave the forest. These plains are so boring to look at.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. I'm a little more used to more wide open, but I can see why you wouldn't be.
It's just there's. I'm a man who appreciates many vantage points. And I also appreciate being able to see what I like without being seen. And that is quite difficult out here. As a hunter, we are taught that the most important thing you can do is blend into your environment. You have to just simply disappear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's interesting because as you go about doing this, you find yourself becoming almost a fixture of the place. Whatever place you are, you just become a natural part of the environment, and things begin to accept you. Animals will approach, insects fly by without giving you a second thought. It's as if you are, I don't know, merely a tree yourself.
It almost sounds idyllic.
It is a simple life, but it is a good one. And we will continue on with talks of the forest.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to, like, at the end of every conversation, that okay is always just like, fucking weirdos.
Third watch.
There we go.
Conversation.
We have a strange bunch on our hands.
I'm beginning to notice that.
Here's hoping those two don't continue their. What's the word I'm looking for? Shenanigans in the next town. I'd hate for Reeling to be shot down more than once.
It all depends on what we come across when we get there.
Mm-hmm. Truthfully, I haven't been near Brand. You know anything about it?
I've been there a few times, but it's been a few years. I don't know anything about it other than what everybody pretty much knows.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very busy place.
Well, let's try not to spend too much time there. Trying to get to kill more. So, I take it. Also, I take it. the mask is a non-negotiable thing then.
What do you mean?
I take it. Prefer to keep that on at all times, sort of thing.
It would be best for me to keep wearing it, yes.
Mm-hmm. All right.
It's not the prettiest face under here.
I respect that. Surprised we've stuck together this long. In all honesty.
I mean, it could be worse. Everybody could have just gone their separate ways by now. But I think it's more of a group of convenience at this point. Everything just seems to work together for everybody.
Yeah, for now. Well, the pay's decent at least.
That much is true.
Eventually, I do hope to get back down toward the south, though.
What's that?
I just prefer staying close to the tundra. Closer to home, that way.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Harder to keep in touch when there's several days of travel between you and them.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. I at least don't have to worry about getting in touch with anybody. I don't really have anybody at the moment.
No sisters, brothers, cousins,
Nope.
strange uncle twice removed.
Nope.
To each their own.
So I take it you're married, or is it just a
Yes.
mutual thing?
Happily married.
For
One kid.
For how long?
Matrimony.exe is processing. Let's go. He hasn't had the count, so
Pull up the sheet.
about 10 years, give or take.
1, 2, fridge,
Not an idiot, Brian.
thermoplastic accelerator. What? I don't know.
What the fuck?
C4 explosive.
C4, you shrunk my battleship. God damn it.
About 10 years, give or take.
Vice Marie.
That's good.
Yahtzee.
10 years is good.
Basically, about as long as the little one has been alive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just a heads up, if Reelan ever asks for any advice about women, I'm not the guy to come to.
Good to know.
She tracked me down and put the ring on my finger.
Still, you'd know more about them than I would. Never even been out on a date. Not since I was a very young kid.
There's always time.
Maybe. I don't think they'd like to see what's under the mask.
I mean, to be fair, some people might be into the mask.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
I mean, don't count yourself out too soon.
Oh, I don't plan on it. I'm just Not getting my hopes up for anything.
Yeah, just don't discourage yourself. There's always a chance for something.
Maybe. We'll just have to see what the gods have in store for us.
True. At that, I think that'll be a good cap on the conversation. As Atterman takes a drink. He totally stashed a couple bottles way out.
Okay.
But
You-
Charles is going, where the fuck is like half my wine?
Did you steal half the wine?
God damn it.
There's only like 30 bottles.
Probably not enough for him to notice.
This time.
This time.
All right. Day 3 takes you to about there. And it takes K2 to the island.
Cool. Once I see the island in view, I guess here's my question, Josh. If I wanted to swim really fast, what stat would that fall under?
Really fast.
Yeah.
No.
And
I'd say it's probably Constitution.
Constitution.
yeah,
All right. Cool.
yeah, that would make sense.
Then I will cast ability, and I'll do what is it? I don't remember all of them. Bear's Endurance. That's what it is. Do Bear's Endurance make me have extra con stuff? And then I will.
That 10
see.
HP will be useful if you get pulled under a rapid.
Well, I mean, it opens up here, so I don't think there's any rapids anymore.
No, there's no rapids.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, and then I'll just jump off the raft and magnify gravity it behind me so that the raft explodes, destroying the evidence.
Fair.
And then I just go swimming like crazy. Really, really make a show to it for anyone that might be watching.
All right. Yeah, not a problem. You'd reach the island at the end of your hour.
Perfect.
And yeah. You have made it your 3-day journey.
Perfect. Alright. Now, where's Nigel's point? I just start looking around.
You look up the cliff face and see that there is a small overlook on the north side, a little more to the northwest.
Alright. Is there like a jetty at the bottom of the cliff where like any boaters would have their boats tied up?
Nope.
Telling me Nigel's Point is on a cliff right next to a huge river and none of them are boat enthusiasts?
Correct.
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
It's a good question.
Okay. Well, is there an area where the cliff looks less sheer?
No, it's pretty sheer. But there is a ladder.
Oh, okay.
Oh, good God.
Like,
Yeah, there is a rope ladder that hangs down from
Or
that.
rope ladder.
Yeah, it's pretty crude. It's meant to just kind of be there in case somebody gets in the river somehow.
all right. Well, I'll swim across to the rope ladder and start climbing.
All right. It is quite an exhausting climb. It's not that bad,
Yeah.
but you do make it up, and people just kind of look at you kind of funny, like because you weren't up there before, and suddenly you're there.
Suddenly, I'm here. All right. Well, I start walking down, like whatever would constitute a thoroughfare at Nigel's Point, and I start looking for like an inn and tavern.
Easy enough. Yeah, you find a couple.
Ah, all right. Sounds good. I guess which of the taverns look, I don't know, more interesting?
They're the same, basically. Yeah, there isn't a whole lot going on here. It's mostly just a resting point in between traveling from anywhere else in Brand.
Sure.
Unless you're coming from, like, Raverin or Gillimore. Or Northshire, technically. But everywhere else can stop here. I guess High Point, too. So, if you're coming from the west.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, between the two that look the busiest, they're the same.
All right. I guess I'll just pick one of them randomly if there's nothing distinguishing between the two of them.
Sure. Yeah, you can pick between the Raging River and the Captain's Treasure.
Oh, okay. I like the sound of the Raging River. It fits what I have planned.
Alright, Raging River it is.
I feel like I should be concerned.
No, no, no.
I don't believe you.
So before I go into the Raging River, I will once again cast Enhance Ability on myself. This time for Eagle's Splendor.
Alright.
And I dramatically enter the bar.
Yeah, the floorboards creak and the violin stops. Just kidding. You
No, actually-
dramatically enter into the tavern.
I was gonna say I would have liked there to be a violin. That would be very fitting for what I have planned.
It's actually that the violin creaks and the floorboards stop. It's a very old violin, not very well kept.
That's perfectly fine. Is there a violin, Josh, or was that just a joke?
It was just a joke.
Damn, I wanted a violin.
Yeah, I mean there's a group of bards playing music.
Oh, okay, that works too.
Yeah. They're providing entertainment.
Perfect.
Yeah, as you dramatically enter, like a few people kind of glance over at you quizzically.
Yep.
Like, the fuck
And
is this guy's problem?
Yep. And I walk up to the tavern keeper. And I say, "Hello. I'm a bit out of character, as you could probably guess. Not everybody goes walking around in their swimming shorts.
True.
But I have quite the tale for you. If you're willing to hear it. It is a tale of hardship, of love, and the story of one man against nature. And all that I ask in return is room and board until my friends arrive, and I will happily work in your tavern if you require it.
Make a persuasion check.
Perfect. And I have advantage because of Ego Splendor. $16?
Alright, I'm intrigued. You got yourself a deal.
Perfect. If you are willing to give me some clothes, I will tell that tale to this whole tavern at this very moment.
Alright. Let's see what we got for clothes.
Alright. And as he goes to find me clothes, I will walk up to the performing bards.
Alright. You approach them and they continue performing. But they definitely notice you.
Yep. I'm hard to miss. And I look at the bards and I say, how would you, fine troop, like to join in the creation of a folktale?
What sort of folktale?
A folktale that will spread across this country and will fill the hearts and minds of many youths who wish to prove themselves to the ones that they love.
Sounds admirable. We can join in.
Perfect. I give them some musical guidance as to what key I want. I, Mike, don't know that because I'm not a musical person.
Fair.
And with the troop of bards' help, I will perform for the tavern the story of a mad swimmer making their way down the raging river. Using the half-finished song I bought at Edward's family's place. Over the last 3 days, in my boredom, I've completed that song and added my own lyrics to it.
Sure.
And like, I like to think that like during this song, like it's very easy to like for people to like join in. The chorus is very memorable, and I'm doing a lot of like jumping and like performing and like dancing on like tables, and like
Making a show out of it.
making a show of it. And like during this process, the tavern keeper would like bring the clothes out, and like without breaking the song, I get dressed in a very elaborate way while I continue to dance and swing around this place.
All right, make a performance check.
Fantastic. Dirty 20.
All right, yeah, it's really well done. You do everything you said you did. Everybody has a great time.
Fantastic. And this continues the trend of people asking me, "Are you sure you're not a bard?" You would think, but no. All right, and I hope to spread the word far away from Nigel's Point, so that maybe it reaches the ears of a certain elf lass 3 days up the river.
The
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
longest goddamn con, and it's so fucking I hate this!
It's stupid, and I love it
Fuck.
because it's Mike.
Yeah.
He was like, what would my character have been doing for 3 days down a river? Ah, yes, making a sea shanty of my exploits.
Coming up with more bullshit.
Oh, Lord.
But Mike, we've already had enough bullshit. Yes, but what about second serving?
What about second
breakfast?
bullshit?
Exactly. Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, you
Alright.
do that.
Yep. Now that I've earned the fame of this town, I, true to my word, work in this tavern until the party arrives, while also continuing to embellish my exploits going down the river.
Yeah, more people show up, and every night the innkeeper keeps telling you to tell the story the exact same way you did the night before.
That's fine. I'm intelligent enough to keep it straight.
Yeah.
I started out with heavily embellishing it so that I didn't accidentally embellish it more farther down the line.
That's fair.
In hopes that people add their own kind of spins at it. Just it continues to embellish and embellish more until like this story of this nameless romantic just becomes so like godlike in their pursuit of love.
Take who wants to become a god.
That might be one of my long-term goals.
You fucking shit.
No, I run a campaign where I'm all of the gods. I don't need to do that.
You don't need to do that.
True.
All right, rest of the party, as your third day comes to an end, What are watches?
I think one.
I'll go on first watch then.
I'll take third.
I'll take third.
Alright, so that leaves Rava and Darkalion for second. Okay, first
What?
watch.
What? No,
What?
Trista said she was going
No,
on
third.
third.
That's right.
What?
Oh, so that's
Atchmere and Darkalion.
Atchmere and Darkalion. Okay, yeah, that's what it was.
Alright.
Jesus.
I was like,
God!
excuse me?
Christ!
Listen, I know I'm annoying, but you don't have to ignore me.
Oh.
Oh,
I didn't ignore you.
Blame the COVID.
That's wasn't going to, but
Blame the pestilence.
He's a sick man, alright? Don't shame him.
Well, yeah. Oh, you meant like physically.
Right?
Yeah, the dog is just fucking killing it on these perception checks.
I mean, you did a lot better that time.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that far off. It's only a
Look,
3 difference.
Look, Fenny got himself a makeover. He's a whole new wolf now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's
Did
really-
it last? He went swimming with me.
It really helped.
It
his
doesn't matter.
self-esteem.
Yeah, it boosts the confidence.
Exactly.
It's only when you're truly feeling yourself do you start to pop off.
Where is that? Wait, did we move on the map? Am I crazy
Yes.
already? Yeah. No, I meant like, did we move for this day of travel already?
Yes.
Yeah. That
Okay.
was before
We
we
did
went.
before we got some nice
Losing my
roads.
mind.
And then we went K2.
Gotcha. Right. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess it's just sitting and staring like to the middle distance. Essentially, guess it's hard to tell if you don't know where you are, but Brand is that way, and she's just staring directly at it.
Say,
So
while-
close, but so far.
So while she's doing that, I will be tending to Jamal. I'm going to start the process of replicating some of the ornamental carvings that are on my bow onto his tusks.
All right. Are
Give
you
him a little more
removing the
flair.
blades to do so?
Hmm?
Are you removing the blades to do so? As he is
That's a
armed.
good question. That's
Yeah.
a good question. That's a good
He's
question.
an armored elephant.
Is that something realistically I would be able to do on my own in a concise time frame?
You have no idea. You don't know how much they weigh, as you have never handled them before.
You're being
Something that's
carried
quite
by an
large, right?
elephant.
They are large.
I have a -1 strength modifier, so I'm gonna have to
You
pause
could
on that.
probably
Wait till I.
remove them, but they
Getting
would
them back on
probably,
would be the.
well, you would probably drop them, and they would probably
Yeah.
touch you.
And I would prefer not to do that. So we'll just wait until I can get some assistance on that. I'll deck out
Fine.
Jamal another day.
We find Reelin the next morning. Oh god, I've been impaled.
Yeah, it's a flesh wound.
Like, ask the fridge to help you.
Yeah, good idea. You seem distracted.
She jumps when you start talking. 'Cause she was so focused on the point that she was staring at.
Are you okay? Something on your mind?
Oh, I'm just. It's been a while since I've been back, and things are gonna be. I have to remember the things I need to do before I get back. I can't. I was acting different, and I have to go back to acting how I need to, how I need to be. This was all fun, but I can't keep doing this.
I ask why?
We don't talk a lot. Not you and me. I mean,
Damn it, Esther!
I didn't even hear it.
It's
Scream?
it wasn't even necessarily a scream. It was just a sound.
Oh my
What
God.
happened?
Nestor's roommate.
Just Nestor's roommate. being Nestor.
Flamboyancy.
Oh God.
He makes the damnedest sounds.
I know, I heard that. I could not for the life of me figure out what that was.
Nestor's roommate. Yeah. We get some good ones.
When in doubt, just assume it's flamboyancy.
Anyways, now that the moment's
as always.
been ruined.
At the church, we don't talk a lot. It's frowned upon in a way, I guess. Not frowned upon. It's what we do. We you can't hear what the martyr might have to say to you if you're too busy indulging in other things. So we take oaths and we are silent. And
it seems like you give a good deal of your life to this martyr. What is it that they give you in return?
well, the church is our whole life. We give everything.
Well, yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm not asking about giving. I'm asking what is it that you get?
Well, my parents got me.
They got you from the church?
Well, they were never able to have children. And then they gave up everything they had in a hope for something. And it happened. And then I was born in the church, and it's my whole life too.
I do not mean to offend. I am a simple man with a simple life. And so I merely ask this question just to hear your response. But if your parents wanted so badly to give you a life, why would they not want your life to be full of experiences?
Well, we have experiences back home. It's just that, the high priests are the ones who have a closer connection to the martyr, and they're the ones who let us know what's okay and what's not okay. I'm an exception because of what happened to me, but
well, I would never proceed to question your lifestyle. But where I come from, silence is one thing that is quite appreciated, but that is because the silence serves a purpose. We are people who, in a similar vein, give much of ourselves to our community to make sure that the betterment of everyone is achieved. But I have to say, a life completely devoid of my own decisions, having to be told what is right and what is wrong, I cannot imagine it.
well, we make our own choices as well. It's not everything. It's just we receive things in a different way than most what we're given back from the martyr. It's just we're given purpose, and devotion.
You
It's
are a
more
very
that-
good. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's more that the closer we get to Brand, the higher the chance that we'll encounter other people from my church, and I need to remember that I need to act accordingly. I need to. This has been a fun diversion from my regular life, but I need to remember who I am and what I need to do and how I need to behave.
It is always good to have a sense of purpose. Um, I think that you are a good person. I think that you are a kind person. And I hope that, while my understanding may be lacking, all I mean to say is that I hope you are getting out of this life as much as you are giving, because you are a very giving individual, and so it'd be a shame to see any one person or organization take advantage of it.
Oh no, but they're not taking advantage of me. I've given them, they've given me everything. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So my devotion to the martyr is complete in all things.
I hope he gives you strength. And with that new information about his friend, Reelan will also stare off into the distance, pondering
Middle
the
distance
differences
staring.
between
Woo!
pondering the differences between life in the forest and life in the city.
Yeah, Agnes just back to staring at a very, 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 very far away set of mountains. What?
The entire watch is just 1,000-yard stairs.
Yeah. Fenny's like, I can do that.
Second watch.
Doing great, guys.
Conversation.
For the most part, Aftermath is just gonna tend to his gear, write down some notes about the events that have led up to this. Before he completely forgets to document the trip.
Dark Alley is just staring off in the direction of Nigel's point at the moment.
All right. Third watch.
Almost world. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't look at me like that, Polly. Don't look at me like that.
All right. Conversation.
So, I'm going to assume that courtship with women isn't exactly always going to be like with the
Oh.
elf sisters.
Oh dear, no. That was no.
Yeah, that was incredibly awkward. Thinking about it, the first night we encountered them, I think... That's the thing for a second. Arya Wynn was trying to court me, but I didn't understand it at the time. I don't know.
You know, no idea,
What-
but their family's a little weird, man.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really want to go along with the plan that K2 and Reland had set, but I didn't really have any other recourse.
What exactly was the plan?
K2 made the observation that it was 3 sisters, we were 3 men.
Divide and conquer.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not the best use of that term.
Fuck you guys. Then I guess the flaw in the logic was me being the 3rd. Although, based on what happened, and between then and now, it really seems like the only one of us that really stood a chance was K2.
And he went down a river in a raft. I don't know that part, sorry. He went down the river. He swam down the river to an island.
I'm sure he has some kind of scheme to subvert the rule. That seems like his way. Find a way to fulfill the letter of the challenge, if not the spirit. I don't know. I mean,
Listen. I don't know how your guys' courtships are, but like... Holy shit, I don't even remember what her fiance's name was.
Oof.
Oof.
Quick, read the backstory.
Bill, just so damn distracting.
I can't focus enough. I'm pretty sure I have a mild concussion for work. Anyways.
Oh, shit.
You know what's dumb is I switched their names too, and that's why I can't fucking...
Breathe, Josh, breathe.
I'm good.
You know, insert Beyonce's name here.
Yeah, we're just gonna roll with that because I deadass can't fucking get it.
Yeah, it's fine.
The poor man was very awkward. But he tried to find things that he thought I would like. It was a lot of weird seashell necklaces for a while. He tried, though.
I guess I get the gesture.
So, all I'm saying is just, like, once you find someone who's truly interested, to try and find something that you'll actually like, or just try and get to know you.
That definitely sounds like more emotional investment than the sisters seem to be willing to put forth. But
Yeah, no,
That-
yeah.
maybe that's just a skin deep assessment.
Yeah, what the sisters were after was purely just physical.
Yeah, I had that feeling. Just kind of has the expression of just like gross. I don't know. At least the walls are soundproofed. Gosh.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. That's small mercies, man.
Well, at least I don't live there anymore. That's less awkward. Well, anyways, it goes back to reading book.
She reads hers.
Norwin.
Yeah. Yeah. I found it honestly during that. I'm just like, yeah. Okay.
Mm.
I need to revamp my notes, honestly. But it's there. It's there.
Hit there.
Don't you judge me.
Your
Don't look
dead
at me like that,
fiancé
Polly.
is named New Orleans.
Norlin.
Norland.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess that concludes the third watch.
Correct.
Fourth watch. I'm just kidding. Day 3, K2, I'm assuming you're still kind of doing the same thing.
Oh yeah, like just living it up at the raging river.
Given that Nigel's point lifestyle.
Yeah, he is just as comfortable with the higher ups as he is with the common folk. And these people seem pretty common.
Oh yeah, these are some basic ass bitches.
Perfect. That's what makes a great folk tale. The boring people who tell it.
All right. So yeah, you guys travel another day. Surprisingly, road's empty. At least nobody coming your direction at all in your entire trip. So at the end of your day, unless anybody wanted to do anything special during the day,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So at the end of your day, what are the watches?
1!
I've done first and second, so I'll take third.
I'll go in one.
All right. So Agnes and Edward on 1, Rava's on
Right.
2, and Reelan is on 3.
I'll go 3.
Okay. So first watch.
Yay!
Ew. And I've stopped saying it, Josh, just because we do so much traveling right now, but every night I do set up alarm.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah. Okay, good. I just don't want to say it every time. Perception. Oh, look at us go. Living the dream down at the bottom.
All right. Neither of you noticed anything. Conversation.
Middle distance staring. Ba-na-na-na.
I'm guessing you're from Brand.
Oh, yes. The church is located there.
Is that in service to a god, or...? An ideal?
Yeah, we're devote to the martyr. Most people know it as the bleeder.
Mm. A more positive aspect, I suppose. Maybe. I don't know.
I wanted to talk to you about something. I didn't want to talk about it while we were with your family.
Is it about my sister?
Yes.
I don't know much.
Well, I just wanted to, I guess, forewarn you that she might be in Brand. Possibly.
I know.
The high priests, I've overheard them speaking about the group that came around the time. It all lined up sort of timeline wise, kind of. It might not be her. It could be her. They might be gone now. I don't even know, but they might be there.
Is your church the kind of people to make war?
No, not that I have ever known. We help people. They help people. The high priests just want to help people.
That's what she says her religion is built around too. How long have you been in the church, Agnes?
My whole life. I was born literally within the walls.
I see. So you've just not known much outside of the church.
Many years ago I was taken. Was a thing. But I made it back. So that was most of what I knew, and then because of that, the high priest saw fit to let me travel since I knew some of outside.
I'm guessing that that's not the case for most of the people in the church.
We devote our lives from beginning to end. So even if there are people that join later that have known life and choose to give it up.
Just, as she's talking, Edward's face becomes more concerned. It's not conscious, but he's not good at hiding it.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
I have a very good relationship with High Priest Hawthorne, so when we get there, we can. Hopefully, I should be able to get everyone in, to if you would like to speak with him ever and ask him questions. They might know more.
I guess that depends on the disposition with what I am. If they have some way of knowing or whatnot.
I've never known them to care about anyone's way of life. There's only the group and there's the people that took me a long time ago. It's the only people I think that I've ever seen or heard of the High Priest not being aligned with in any way.
Why did these... Did they only take you, or did they take more?
No, it was just me. It was one of those wrong place, wrong time situations. In a sense, they tell me they were there for something else, but at the time, some of the other high priests had left. They had gone to another city, so there were less guards around at the time. So they saw an opportunity and took it. I was just a hostage used for leverage. So that's all.
Taken from what you've known for reasons beyond your control.
Pretty much. I do hope that after we're done Brand, we could maybe, on our way to Gillimore, avoid Reverend. Would be preferable to me, but we'll see, I guess.
Maybe. Is there any particular reason you'd want to avoid it? Was that where you were taken?
Mm-hmm.
That place was a hell that I would wish on no one.
I don't even really know what it looks like. All I know is that I was there. Didn't exactly stop to see the sights as I was escaping, so...
You wouldn't find much.
All I remember is a really big house on a hill. And that's it.
Yeah. Reverend is basically just an eternal battlefield.
Just happy to get home. I didn't ask very many questions. The high priest asked me what I knew while I was there, but the people who took me spoke in a language I didn't understand, so I didn't really get anything of use.
I see. Well, at least your church seems more peaceable than whatever Alma follows. A lot less doom and damnation.
Not much doom and damnation, more devotion and structure and order.
Right.
By the time we get to Nigel's Point, you probably won't hear much from me from that point on. Like I told Reland, we don't talk very much. It's considered improper and disrespectful to the martyr that we're so busy talking that we're not listening. So if I don't want to be the punishment's not preferable. It's not enjoyable, so I'd rather avoid it if possible.
It's a vow of silence. I suppose I can understand. On my travels, I've encountered individuals who take similar vows, although theirs seem a little more complete than yours. No offense, of course, but
They knew once I left I would need to speak in order to do anything within the walls. We don't. Everything is provided for us. We don't need to ask for anything. And of course, if the high priests ever need to speak with us, if we're spoken to, we may. We don't live completely in silence. It's more of a
respond when spoken to.
There's hushed whispers. If not, I don't think anybody would ever be able to talk ever again if they didn't speak ever. You know,
Maybe not.
it gets uncomfortable.
I don't know. Not exactly the religious sort myself, so. Well. I guess not really the sort that can derive powers off of it, at least. I mean, just kind of holds up his necklace with potion bottle. The apothecary is the god of doctors and medicine. But it's not really so much devotion, more just... If somebody's gonna be on my side, it makes the most sense.
Completely understandable.
I'd rather not upset the god that kind of, helps the most when it comes to my particular field. At least that's the hope.
Well, if you listen, I'm sure that you'll hear them eventually.
Maybe.
The divine speak to us in ways that we don't quite understand, so
Some more directly than others.
probably.
I don't know. In any case, it's about time to change over.
Back to my middle distance staring.
Yeah.
Second watch.
Time is fake. I honestly thought we were on last watch already. Jesus fucking Christ. We're doing great.
We used to speak much.
Conversation.
No. I'm gonna go with yeah.
Third watch. Conversation.
Nothing immediately springs to mind. —
All right.
My bad.
And day
Thank
number
you for muting
5.
on its own.
Were you gonna speak at all?
No, I'll just. You're already moving on. It's fine.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure because I hadn't moved on yet.
I don't have anything too terribly important, so it's fine.
Is it something?
No, not really.
Okay. On day 5, you arrive at Noctis Point.
Woo!
Yay!
Go team!
Closer to late afternoon, where you'd be looking for a place to rest.
Well, first we gotta find somewhere to keep the animals.
Perfect.
Can't just leave Jamal out and about. He's gotta be somewhere safe.
Alright. Well, as you enter in the city, you find it's pretty rundown. There's not a lot going on in Nigel's Point. There is the tallest building in this town is a church. The largest building in terms of area that it occupies in this town is a church. And the central figure, meaning the most important looking building in the city / town, is a church. They're all the same church. It's a big church. It's an important church. It also looks abandoned. There are a total of 3 taverns / inns in this town. 2 of which are up and going, busy. The third one of which looks like it was burned to the ground and never rebuilt.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, it's quite a mess. Literally looks untouched. And other than that, houses. Small houses. There is a lookout that it's more of like an observation style deck that overlooks the river, literally overlooks it. You have to walk out onto this deck to see down through the floorboards into the river, or look over the sides. That is known as Sheer Point Ridge. The 2 taverns and inns, one is the Raging River and the other one is the Captain's Treasure. Or CT as they call it.
I don't think it would be necessarily too wise to dwell here for very long. We should find K2 and be on our way.
It is late into the evening.
In the morning. Find him first, hopefully, and leave in the morning.
Hey, have you guys found any drowned people?
No?
No, that was me pretending to be them.
Oh, okay.
Because they all thought I was gonna die.
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking the
Not
local. I was like, no.
Well,
No.
Anybody that
Can't-
drowns goes down the river.
I'm sure we'll find K2 where there's a lot of people.
Well, to the inns then.
Yeah.
Why don't some of us go to one and the rest of us will go to the other? We can find him.
I had to take a guess. He'd probably go to the Raging River.
If you think so.
I mean, he just went down it. It's got enough irony to it. I'm sure he'd find it funny enough.
Fair point. Off we go then.
Where are you leaving the animals?
Is there, like, there really isn't, there's not a place to, like, keep them here, is there?
Everything that I described to you is the town.
Yeah. I fear for the safety of our animals were we to leave them alone.
If you
But I
want, we can leave
think
them
maybe...
If you want, we can leave them outside of town, and I can stay with them. Just to keep an eye on them.
Well, I was about to say that Fanny and I could do just that. If you would like to join us, I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't like this place that much.
All right, well, we will wait for you all outside town in the morning.
Alright. Oh, I guess the rest of us are gonna go to, thing. The Raging River.
Alright, so the rest of you, the 4 of you,
Yep.
go to the Raging River. And as you enter, the floor creaks and the violin stops. This time legitimately.
Hello.
Well, this is in the evening, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is probably right in the middle of my song, so they probably would enter in completely unnoticed.
That's a good point.
Yeah. The floorboard creaks, but the violin doesn't stop.
Yeah, you enter in and you notice no changes. You see K2 performing dramatically.
Yeah, just kind of look to the rest of the party, just like, I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Right. Okay then. She just kind of looks at me. Do we just want to sit down and wait for him to finish his?
Probably.
Yeah.
You guys are probably shouting to each other.
I'm
Yeah.
not yelling.
This is,
quite
this is a
ostentatious.
loud atmosphere, because everybody is singing along.
Yeah. So after yelling at each other, we're just all gonna sit down and hang out for him to finish his epic tale? Whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Finished his performance.
It is quite epic.
Nah.
By these people's standard, it's quite epic.
Right.
They're all having a grand old time.
They don't care that they've
This
heard
is the most
same
exciting
song.
thing that has happened in years.
Yeah.
It is, actually. the last exciting thing that happened in this town was when the other tavern burned down.
Right.
Or, when the church got abandoned, which was before that.
Woo!
So whenever I get done with my epic tale / song, I'll saunter on over to the party and I say, "What took you guys so long? I've been waiting for like 4 days."
Faster
But
to
we
go down the
were
road than it is to
walking.
go on the road.
You were riding an elephant.
Close to he was walking.
This is why I said we should have gone with the Palisade. Would have been much faster.
I don't think he could support that much weight on his back.
To be fair, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And you had the straight line.
No, that's...
Were you not listening to the song? I had plenty of obstacles.
I'm
Sure.
sure you did.
You guys want any drinks? I technically work here now.
Please tell me
I'm
something.
assuming- I'm assuming that's 4 now.
What's that?
So I'm assuming that's 4 now.
Oh, of course. Now that you guys are here, I'll tender my resignation.
I'm sure they'll hate to see you go.
You joke, but I've really livened up this place.
No. I know. When we walked in and the town was little more than just houses, I had a feeling. In any case, we might as well enjoy the time we're here. Doesn't make any sense. We're not going to get much further before darkness falls.
Perfect. Round of drinks on me. And without taking any of their orders, I leave to go get them booze.
I have to picture that's what K2's been doing the whole time. it's just go, yeah, just like, we like around. Alright, just goes back, picks a couple
I mean,
bottles.
to
just
be
mixes them.
fair, this tavern doesn't exactly have a full bar.
Well, yeah, so, yeah. Alright, now there's 2 choices of ale. X or Y. What if we just mix both of them?
Then you get
the
Z.
Precisely!
Alright. What was the tavern keeper's name? I never asked you, Josh.
Yeah. His name.
Fantasy name generators.com.
You think I'm going to a fantasy name generator? My fantasy name generator is in the back of Xanathar's.
His name is Tom,
I mean, he is a human.
but spelled with an H.
TH. Or TOHM.
So
Tom.
Thom,
Tom. His name is Julian.
Julian. Alright.
Julianson.
King Julian.
So...
Julian Chaser.
Okay. So Darkalion stayed with the animals. Did anyone else stay with the animals?
Reelan.
Reelan.
Reela did. Okay. So there's 4 of you? That
Yes.
sounds right. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Alright, Julian, I need a round of 4 ales. Also, tonight's my last night. My friends are here.
Damn it!
Billy, you were
Well,
a
who
shit
else is going
employee
to keep
anyway.
the crowds excited?
Well, you knew this was a temporary thing. Besides, Old Cooley and the Lookout Boys can handle the rest.
Wow.
Fuck off!
We never came up with a name for the band. Besides, I'm pretty sure everybody knows the words by now. You don't need a lead singer.
Fair.
That's fair. Alright, well, for your last night, this round of drinks on the house.
Oh, sweet. Well, make it a fifth then.
Come to find out, it's coming out of your paycheck.
My paycheck was living there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was working for room and board.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright. So I bring the drinks whether they were wanted or not.
Yeah, Agnes definitely like pushes her drink to somebody else.
No, wait, Agnes, I thought of this. And I put a straw in it.
Oh my god.
Pushes the drink to somebody else.
Ah, you're no fun.
No, that's funny.
Rava just like grabbing.
She's like, yeah, straw.
Gimme.
Yeah. Yeah.
First off,
She-
of
yeah,
course.
she doesn't take the drink, she just takes the straw.
Well, she takes the straw first and then realizes why she was pushing away, and then he takes the drink.
Right.
But still just playing with the straw. Like she's not actually.
You
It's
guys should see
literally-
the number of these I've seen.
Number of what?
Straws in the ocean.
Oh.
Fuck.
Oh, God. Big pollution problem in this made-up world. Oh, Josh.
That mirrors real life some ways.
Oh, great.
Yay!
Oh, great. That's the real big valuable guy. Big Straw Incorporated.
Ew.
So, you all obviously know how my trip went. How did your trip go? Anything interesting happen?
Nope.
Now,
Not particularly.
Jamal went in a direction for several days, and that was about it.
Sounds like I made the right choice then.
In a way.
So, I guess, what's the plan from here? We going straight to Brand? We doing something else? I kind of left in a hurry. I didn't exactly get a full itinerary of the travel.
Well, it does seem like Brand is our next stop.
Hey, I just thought of something.
Hmm.
Did K2 take any of his things with him?
Nope, you guys have.
Do we? I don't remember grabbing him.
They were with the fucking elephant, so if you left with the elephant, you left with
Okay.
the stuff.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Good. We'll go with that, because otherwise, I'm pretty sure we would have left your ship behind.
What great friends I have.
Listen. Should I?
Look.
I thought about like trying to make the point that like I brought myself with me, but I love the idea of showing up in Nigel's Point with nothing but my swim trunks and convincing them to give me a job.
Hey, I just came from the water. Give me a job, please.
Yep.
As far as I know, we're just heading straight to Brand. I don't know if there's anything we need to do here.
Okay.
No. We were literally here to pick up K2.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I mean, we could have made him walk to kill him more.
We could have, but...
Well, after a couple of weeks of you guys not showing up, I would have gotten worried and just headed back to Serenia. Assuming I'd find your corpses on the side of the road.
Classic.
Well, that's optimistic. Yeah, I think Brand is next.
Didn't really mention that there was like an outpost out here for the guild or some shit.
In Brand.
Yeah, it's outside of Brand, actually. But
Oh.
Close enough that it basically is brand.
yeah. I think it's on the other side, too. So we need to head to Brand anyways, considering it's on the other side of it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you have anything to do, I say we just head out now, then try and get a head start on it.
Try to close as much distance as we can to get a little more.
We can.
Well, if you want to leave now, that's fine with me. I've spent enough time in this town.
Looks to Agnes. Do you need to do anything here?
Just shakes her head. Nope.
No unfinished business like Edward?
Hmm? What do you mean unfinished?
Is there like anything that, like anyone you'd like to check in on, that sort of thing?
Oh, I've never been here.
Shakes her head. Nope.
Going to move, I am too. Just
Cerulean? Do you want to check in on the outpost?
Thought Reelan wasn't
Before-
here.
he isn't.
Go out, find Jamal. Be like, do you need us to head to the outpost before we leave?
Head to the outpost.
For the guild.
That's why we're going to Brand.
Yeah, the guild outpost Nestor is in Brand.
Yeah, it's like over here.
Alright. So I guess we'll stop there and then make our way up towards the guild. Simple as that.
Yes.
I honestly don't know what's going on anymore. I just know we're going to Brand.
I don't know.
Shall we go then?
Might as well.
Yep.
Excellent.
Alright. So as you guys set out on the road, you travel for about an hour, and it's really getting dark.
Bed down for the night?
Epic.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, what are the watches?
1.
I'll take second.
What have we been doing? 3 watches?
I'll be on third.
Yeah, we've been doing 3.
I'll take third.
Second?
I honestly lost track of who's on where.
Well, you can tell
Right.
who's on first.
Oh, it's on second.
And I don't know who's on third.
So wait, who's on? So, is there 2 people assigned to first watch yet?
It's just me so far.
Okay, then
Here's-
I will join you on first watch.
Hey, welcome back.
And here I thought Josh was going to continue the who's on first bit.
No, why would I?
I almost accidentally did.
Oh, wait, so who's on first? Yeah, what's on second?
Me and Nestor?
And then everybody else is on third?
Sure.
Sure.
Alright. First watch.
We got this!
Go team. You just like love rolling this combo very similarly, don't you?
Yeah, it works out.
Oh, I'm getting
Man.
better.
Fenris,
Ever
the ever observant dog.
Yes.
Conversation.
You know, I have to say, I'm surprised you all decided to leave the city. I thought you would sleep there for the night. Not that I'm complaining. I'm happy to get to move on sooner, but
I don't think anyone cared much where we stayed.
the quicker we move, the sooner we'll be where we're going.
Yeah, I think more to do in Brand than we do in Nigel's Point.
Yes, most certainly.
Only reason we're there is because of K2 anyways.
Yes. Personally, I would have preferred to avoid that small distraction, but it made him happy, and I am happy for him.
You guys were there for like an hour. Calm down.
You're asleep! He's just in his dreams, just like, suck it up.
So you can't hear this, you're not here.
You had everybody
So-
singing, it was very weird.
Well, I'm glad I missed that. I'm not much of a singer.
But I mean like everybody. Like everybody was singing. It was very strange.
Sounds strange. I do enjoy music. I can play an instrument or two, but not the singing.
You don't do either, so wouldn't really know. All I know is it was really loud.
Have you ever tried to play an instrument before?
No.
Would you like me to teach you?
Probably not right now. Maybe another day.
Well, the offer is there.
Thanks.
And I will take out my flute and I will play a solemn tune.
Oh, great! In this, as we're approaching the mountains,
Make
just
a
like,
performance check.
oh God! Oh
Okay.
no! I believe in you.
I don't.
Believe in yourself.
All right,
Hey,
cool.
there you go.
Alright, it's a pretty solemn tune. Alright.
Very solemnly.
I should point out that's technically a 19, because even though he's not proficient in performance, if he's proficient in a flute, he can add his proficiency modifier.
True.
Oh, that is true. And I am proficient with the flute.
True.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's really
Even
well done.
better. Now it's extra solemn.
It's very solemn.
Super solemn.
It's very calming. It almost puts you to sleep.
Finish my watch while staring at the mountains.
Mm.
All right.
While music plays in the background.
It's very cinematic.
Because we're classy people, man.
Mm. Wake up round 2.
Round 2.
Fight!
What's the name of that really famous saxophone player?
Bill Clinton.
All right, Mike gets a point for that one.
Yes! Well earned. Well earned.
God damn it. God damn it.
Okay. All right, a conversation.
Oh god, fucking Mike.
I don't know. I'm gonna read my book unless he brings something up.
I'm gonna mostly leave her be if she's busy reading.
Oh, haha.
All right, so you're gonna mostly leave her be. So what are you gonna do with that part where you're not leaving her be?
Honestly, just occasionally check in, see, where she's at in the book, that sort of thing. Yeah. Aside from that,
Alright.
occasionally ask for like a spelling or two of a common word you may have forgotten for his notes.
So you're gonna ask the person that doesn't speak common as a native language.
To help you with spelling in common.
Occasionally you forget really fucking simple words.
You're putting a lot of trust in me, buddy.
Yes, how do you spell pneumonia?
Every now and then she'll just, like, depending on whatever the word is, she'll just stop and think really hard and just guess the fuck out of it.
You'd be like, do you think Reeland floundering at trying to flirt is accurate?
Fl-
He says while writing.
Floundering?
It's a type of fish.
Or do you think shot down like a bird in the middle of a hunting season is more accurate?
I think more a bird flying into a glass window.
K2 speaking in his sleep?
This first one?
Yeah, we'll go with the first one. Trying to document their activities, keep the family up to date on the various shenanigans of this group. And I think I'll go with K2 decided to be an idiot and swim down a river for 5 days and somehow still live.
It was 3 days, but whatever.
Time is a construct and nothing ever matters.
It's more impressive that it was less time.
She just kind of nods and is like, alright.
I'll get the other two up.
Yeah.
It is two, right?
I think there's three of
Three.
us. Yeah, I think it's
3.
Yeah, me, Edward, and Darkalion.
He.
E.
Just sort of grabs a nearby stick and just starts poking. K2 will wake.
My shadow grabs the stick before it touches me.
Ah, he's awake.
What shadow? It's nighttime.
There's a campfire.
Touche.
Yeah, the K2 is still asleep, but the shadow grabs the stick and then does like a "I'm watching you" thing. And then the shadow nudges K2 awake.
Just give the shadow the same look back. Fucking weird.
Let's go, you've been out of shape.
A Mike question or a K2 question?
That was a K2 question. At Atramir. Because you're
Yeah.
acting weird.
Nothing weird. Shadow's awfully sassy.
I kind of like shoot the shadow a look, and I was like, when you've got an ego as big as mine, it bleeds off into your other avenues.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me at all. I'm just surprised you admitted to being a narcissist.
Well, there's a difference between being an egotistic and being a narcissist.
Thank you, disembodied voice.
You're welcome. Welcome.
Ugh.
Anyway,
Atramir, I think you should get some sleep. You're seeing
Yeah.
things.
Alright.
And then I get ready for my watch.
Third watch?
ah, it's weird not having any. Weird not having any bonus perception whatsoever.
I specifically made the choice to not have perception because I usually have perception.
I did
Yeah.
the same thing. I was like, I don't need to be perceptive. Other people will
Like
have
this-
it.
Like,
And no one has it.
I was like,
I mean, some
I'm used
people
to
have it, but-
being the person who sees everything. This time, I'm going to be the person that
Who
doesn't
sees
see shit.
nothing.
Alright, conversation.
Did you actually swim the entire 3 days?
Well, of course. That if I didn't, then the song wouldn't be true.
There was a song.
There was an entire production. Or at least there would have been had he had more time.
It was quite the production. You should see it, Darkalion. I had the whole tavern cheering me on. Jumped from the rafters, danced on tables. People gave me drinks. It was awesome.
Just picturing the scene from Beauty and the Beast with Gaston.
Yep. That's what I was going for.
That's fair.
No one swims like K2.
Seems to be in good condition for somebody who spent the last 3 days in constant motion.
I'm stronger than I look.
Right. Well, that notwithstanding, I'm sure you'll have a reward back waiting for you in Serenio.
Oh yeah, that would be nice. Nice little cherry on top.
Oh no, there's no cherry.
Oh God,
Good one, John.
you're terrible.
I hate it here.
Me and Tori simultaneously just disappear into the woods to drink ourselves into oblivion with that.
Yeah, and not our characters, literally Krista and I.
Bye.
I mean, I'd expect that from Krista, let's be honest.
Thanks.
To be honest,
Where's Krista? She's in the woods. Okay. Sorry, anyways.
to be honest, I don't really care whether she keeps her end of the bargain or not. I did it more for the story than I did for her. So I decided to keep her name, and technically my name, out of the song. So between us, she'll know it's about her, but to everybody else, it will just be this beautiful elven maiden that's this insane romantic swam up a river.
Well, at least one part of that story is partially true. I don't know. My particular medicine is not that. I'm curing madness, so.
Well,
In any
Edward,
case-
if you stick around, you'll find that some of my best ideas are the product of madness, or at least what people would believe to be madness. The
Yeah, I
truth
guess-
is, am
I
I truly mad? Or am I the sanest one here?
You're philosophizing again.
Just look at you with a shit-eating grin.
In any case. Brand should be interesting.
I've never been to Brand.
Neither have I.
It's a bit too out of the way for me.
I've been there a few times.
What's it like?
It's busy.
I have to
A lot
imagine it's the
going
capital.
Interesting.
Even at nighttime, there's more people on the streets than you expect to be.
Hmm.
Sounds like Lorik.
Is that where you're from? Or
I
this
spent
game?
some time there, but that's not where I'm originally from.
I suppose that's fair. I've never been there. It always seemed interesting. I mean, something called the High City of Lorik seems to have something about it, but I don't know. Never really had the time.
It's the freest city that you will ever come to, as long as you're willing to pay the price.
Death.
That's not the price.
Don't listen to him. It's definitely death.
There would be no people there if everybody died.
It's all
It's
death.
the city of the undead, and K2 is just really good at bullshit.
I bullshit. Yeah, I convinced everybody in the necropolis that I was also undead.
How do you do, fellow dead people?
Yes, this is some good entrails.
Hello, friend ghoul. I too am ghoul. Damn them elves, you know?
Oh my god.
Dare I ask what you mean by price?
Well, it is a city governed by trade. It is not part of this country. It kind of stands alone. That's what makes it the high city. It stands above the petty squabbles of countries. So people from all around the world come to the high city of Lorik to trade goods, to trade stories, and to trade ideals. So you could say it's the freest city, but everything has a price.
I guess that's fair. Well, I suppose that's true anyway, really. That might be there more so than most.
You might actually like it there, Edward. They are quite understanding of people who think outside the coffin.
Are you proud of yourself for that?
Oh, it's just a simple play on words.
I picture again the shit-eating grin, though. Maybe. I guess a detour there, if we get the time, might not be quite so bad. If the exchange of ideas is as free as you say they are, maybe I could find a hint as to who I'm looking for.
Maybe. Who are you looking
The author of the encyclopedia.
for? Oh.
The man who founded the school that I hail from.
Well, it's possible. There is a school there. Academics like to rub shoulders. I'm sure if you don't find him there, you might find someone who at least knows of him.
That's more of what I'm expecting to find. At least a clue to where he might be.
What about you, Dark Alien?
What's that?
What are you looking for?
Right now, nothing really.
Oh? What made you go to Stone Sparrow in the first place?
Yeah, it was a place to make a little bit of money. Just survive, really.
I suppose. I mean, you can make money really anywhere, but Stonesboro, the edge of civilization.
Well, it's difficult to do in Brand. I figured Stonesboro was a little bit easier. A little bit smaller, less people to fight for the same job, you know.
And yet the first day that we're there, many people died because of the job.
It wasn't even a job necessarily.
I guess so. It's more of an opportunity of a job.
Hmm.
A false promise of a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was still a higher chance to get said job in Stonesboro than there would be in Brand.
I suppose that's fair. It is the place where adventurers congregate. Of course, I didn't expect to be one of those adventurers myself. But
Same.
fate weaves itself as it wishes, I suppose.
That's the truth. It's K2, in Nigel's Point, did they, what was up with the, burnt down tavern?
You know, I never asked. I just kind of assumed somebody got drunk and burnt it down.
I mean, doesn't seem like there's a whole lot to do there. Wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, I thought that you would have heard a story about it, or about what happened there.
I was a little too busy telling my own story.
Yeah, fair enough.
Besides, it seemed to have been burned down a while ago. It's an old story for them, a story that they probably wouldn't want to repeat anyway. They cared more about fun stories or stories about the wonder of the outside world. Give some of them hope to leave Nigel's Point someday, seeing how there's not really much to do there.
That makes sense.
I mean, seriously, I thought it was going to be like a fishing town or something, being right on the side of the village. Doesn't even have a dock. I had to climb a rope ladder to get out of the river.
Yeah, it's too high up a cliff.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're so bored. They're not creative enough to find a way down the cliff.
Yeah,
Essentially.
they could easily carve a path if they really wanted to.
Oh, maybe build a
stairs.
series of like stairs, or even like
platform.
like a series of like cave living, where carve homes out of the cliff face itself, so it's even a shorter trip.
I don't think anybody really planned on traveling through that little river down there. It leads to Brand or Serenia, and that's about it. But it would increase the speed of trade with Brand, though, I will say that. I don't think this place trades with them all that much.
They're the closest village to Brand, and they don't really trade with them at all. Seems strange to me.
Well, it's also a small little village, so... If it were bigger, I'm sure they would establish bigger trade, but Not like the size of Serenia or anything.
It's fair. Certainly, it did seem to have not a lot going on, but like a variety of things going.
A lot more variety than Nigel's Point has.
That's for sure.
I mean, Serenia is more of a place for people who are more naturally inclined. Like Raylan.
It's true.
And it's fine enough, but kind of like Nigel's Point, there's not much to do if that's not your inclination. It seems like a high departure from Lorik or Brand or even Sarnath. I only really have experience with Sarnath.
Oh look, the sun is coming up.
Oh look! The sun!
Alright. So you end your watch. Continue journeying for a day.
Nope.
And you get about that far. A little bit further. About that far.
It's taking forever.
Sorry, we're
It's a
not traveling on
long-ass
a
way.
river that's helping us.
Sorry, we don't have a boat, okay? Our elephant doesn't float.
Aren't elephants like weirdly buoyant? I remember reading that somewhere.
Yeah, they're really good swimmers, actually.
Yeah.
Elephants can swim.
Well, I know they can swim, but I think they're also like buoyant because of just like the amount of like
Oh yeah.
mass and air.
Yep. But you know what? It's not buoyant. Your carriage.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another point for the Palisade.
All right. Yeah, nothing interesting on your path out this way. You're just traveling alongside the river. What? What?
What?
What?
What? What?
It's just K2's shadow, like, knocking him in the skull. Just what? What? What?
All right. So, after a day's travel, if any of you wanted to do anything during the day, now is the time.
How much more travel do we have?
About a day and a half.
Okay.
I spy something green.
Grass.
Yep, you got it again.
Let's imagine them
It's
in the
7
cart.
times in a row. You have to choose something different.
Okay, something blue then.
The sky. I mean, you got to try harder.
It's the river, I think.
It was
Hey, Josh.
actually.
Oh, actually.
I thought it was gonna be a joke about Rob. I'm just like, I swear to fucking God.
It's Rava!
She just looks off and flips him off. Yeah, great.
Josh,
Josh.
Josh?
Oh,
Yeah.
can
God.
I make a?
Josh.
Thank you. Yeah. Can I make a perception check to see? Just like I want to keep an eye out while we're traveling, see if they I spot anything that looks like it might be fun to hunt.
Okay. No.
Cool.
I mean, there's fish in the water.
That doesn't sound like fun.
They're also not at the same level. They are.
Multiple hundred. They're like 100 feet down.
Yeah. So
I don't think my rod has a casting line that.
What do
goes
you
that far.
mean? That's part of the challenge.
I'm gonna pass.
I think your rod's been having trouble getting wet recently. I don't know if you want to try that.
Oh, Jesus.
Fuck you.
Yep.
All right, that's a point for Josh.
No,
All
that was all I got.
Okay. Yeah, there's not really any wildlife in this area. At least not out in the open.
I compose a song about being bored on the road.
Oh, God, no. It's Are We There Yet? The musical.
No, it's literally 99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Oh no.
Oh god, kill me.
I'll play us a traveling tune on my flute instead.
K2 starts doing that and then just Phalange just...
He just grabs the flute and throws it out the fucking
No!
window.
No, well,
No,
really, though,
you
it's like,
don't,
no,
don't you touch my flute.
no,
I
no, it's covering up K2.
And yet somehow I harmonize with the flute. And now the flute is accompanying my song about being bored on the road.
Really driving the fucking
Wow.
elephant?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
The elephant walks on its own.
Yeah, he doesn't. I tell him to turn.
Yeah, and you're going in a straight line. Along a clearly defined walking path.
You don't even have to tell him to turn, like he just follows the road.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just here like for moral support for Jamal, basically.
it's an elephant. They're very intelligent creatures. He goes, "Oh, path, follow."
Yeah, I'm just here to be like, yep,
Yeah.
keep going. I'll give you bananas.
Yeah, that's really what Reland's there for. Snack, please.
Moral support.
Yeah, moral support and snack, please.
All right.
Snakes.
So as you finish traveling for the day and bed down for the night, what are the watches?
Me go first.
I'll
Me
go first
first,
as well.
Damn you, you bastards.
You can do 3 people on a watch.
No,
Yeah.
they've taken it from me.
I'm on third watch again.
Second? No, I'll do third this time.
Okay.
I guess I'll take second.
Okay.
Dark Hair can go wherever he wants.
And Atchemer.
Tremere can go wherever he wants.
Right, who's on first?
What's on second?
God
I'll
damn
go
it.
on third
I'm
watch.
legitimate question.
All
It was
right.
me, Nestor.
Yeah, now you're on
All right.
second.
Alright, I'll go with Agnes.
All right. First watch.
Ta-da!
Ah! Pank!
Dang.
Oh shit.
You hit both ends of the spectrum.
Wow.
Yeah,
A
okay.
naturalist of 20s.
Yeah. It's almost like I have a 0 to wisdom.
Conversation.
Nah, I'm just still playing my flute.
Baby,
Yep.
what the fuck are you rolling?
None of your business.
He's rolling d20s to make us nervous.
Fair.
You're not on the safe road anymore.
That's fair.
Fair.
So, Rhythm.
Yes.
I've been meaning to ask, if it doesn't bother you too much, this plague that affected your village, what all did that entail?
Well, you see, um, it was a very curious disease, not one that I have really heard of before, and also one I really haven't seen since. I do not know too terribly much about it outside of its nature, but what I can tell you is that it was a disease that took out over half of my village, unfortunately, including my parents.
Mm-hmm.
It was an illness we refer to as the sleeping sickness. It was a disease that once it took you over, uh, mostly what would happen is it would start as almost flu-like symptoms, and then it would progress into weary and fatigue, and then one would fall asleep, and well, they would never wake up. Unfortunately, um, we noticed that vital signs were still somewhat apparent. Signs of life were apparent in those sleeping. We had hoped to wait it out to find a cure, but after a certain point, their bodies became stone-like, and then all signs of life seemed to disappear from there.
Stone? Like they became petrified, or?
Yes, quite literally. It was a disease that, like I said, it took most of the able-bodied adults in my village. It was the cure. Um, I'm not quite sure what it was this woman did, but there was a day when I was still a young man that a druid found her way into Svarki, all on her own, which is quite an impressive feat. No one had ever seen her before, and she did not speak much. But she was able to lift this illness from those who had yet to turn to stone. And since her intervention, we have not seen or heard of this disease again.
Reelan, you remember suddenly that druid's name is Ashrin.
Her name was Ishri.
Sure.
I never had the opportunity to thank her for what she did for my people, but were I ever to come across her again, I would owe her a great debt of gratitude.
No, no kidding. And unfortunately, not that I would be much help now, considering it's already passed, but everything up until the turning to stone seemed to indicate some kind of natural disease, but turning to stone is something purely in the realm of magical. Maybe it was some kind of dryad's curse for someone encroaching on a holy grove or something, but I'm a man of science, not magic. So unfortunately, beyond that, I can't speculate much.
Magic is always been quite a mystery to my people. We have never been those who practice such skills. We find much more reliability in the skills of men.
That's fair. I mean, I never expected to get the powers I have, but here we are.
Many of the older folks do not regard magic well at all. I have somewhat of a more nuanced view. I appreciate the good that it can do. I just have fear of the bad that it can do as well.
I think a lot of people do. I mean, yeah, there's a lot that can be done. Most of it isn't exactly wholesome. I mean, raising a person from the dead isn't exactly proper.
No, I would say not. I prefer the simple magics known to rangers. Being able to track my quarry, being able to stop my bleeding, move a little faster, jump a little further. These are good skills. I can't imagine myself needing much more than this.
Enhancing the abilities you already possess.
Exactly. At least then I know some of that strength is still my own.
Yes, he's quite swift, but he's not quite as swift as a coursing river. And he's strong.
No.
That's crazy typhoon.
Josh, I swear to God.
I hope they don't
Also,
find out I
it's the
don't know how to
force.
swim.
Say it's the force of a great typhoon, my friend, and the strength of a raging fire.
It's got you there.
God damn it, now it's getting stuck in my head all week.
And I am dark-skinned, so I get to be as mysterious as the dark side of the moon. I get to
Oh!
God damn it. Go
I want you guys
away.
to know I wasn't able to find my mouse, and I intently searched for it just to groan at how awful all of that was.
That was, yeah.
You know, you guys keep saying how mysterious the dark side of the moon is, but Pink Floyd is a very well-known band.
You know what? No, not here. Not in this place.
What point does he get the box of shame?
When I stop laughing.
But Josh, you never laughed to begin with.
Ha ha ha.
No, see, you stopped.
I think you're about to get put in the box.
Oh, I know.
No, he has no shame.
That's not true. I have a little bit. As a treat. You have a little shame. As a treat.
You eat your own shame for breakfast?
Yes. Jesus. That's a roommate with perfect comedic timing, yet again. Anyways. Huh. Interesting. I hope their library isn't burned.
A library?
It's the place I'm most comfortable at, really.
That's fair.
I mean, you have your forest.
Go ahead.
Like you have your forest. That's where you're most comfortable. I'm most comfortable surrounded by books instead of, the trees that books come from.
I think that's fair. A good book is a wonderful way to pass the time. My grandfather is quite the avid reader.
You talk about him a lot.
He's a good man. Bit of a boastful man. And he likes to drink a bit too much. But he is a good man.
I mean, everyone's got their vices. And I suppose a little bit too much to drink. A little too confident. There are worse. Worse ones to have.
He says it improves his aim.
Well, from a medical standpoint, I doubt it, but Stranger things have happened.
The man is odd, but he's quite a talent. I have to tell you, it brings me no small amount of worry that I have gone so long without hearing from him.
I can't say I blame you. That's how I feel about Alma, even though her correspondence would probably be a lot more... What's the word I'm looking for? Unpleasant than correspondence from your grandfather would be. But I guess it's possible she could be in Brand.
What would you do if you found her?
I don't know. I guess try to reason with her, but that wouldn't be that effective. At least it hasn't been in the past.
Well, one must always try.
Yeah.
May I show you something?
Sure.
Alright. I'm gonna reach into my backpack. I'm gonna pull out the letter my grandfather sent me before I left for Stone's Barrow, and show Edward the back of it with the map that leads to Everhold. And just this is where my grandfather is currently, or at least where he is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I believe, to the south, a snowfield forest, mountainous, dangerous. The way he writes about it, it's a place unlike any I have ever been.
I mean, I'd have to imagine.
He describes it as he described it to me as a place that almost seems too large. I don't quite know what he meant by that. But...
Well, if it's forested terrain, it's possible there could be some kind of Fey influence.
I have to go to him eventually.
Right.
I just don't. I don't know when is the right time. I fear that if I wait too long, he will not be there when I arrive. But if I arrive too early, I will be nothing but a hindrance to him.
Unfortunately, that's not something we can truly say. I've definitely had moments like that with people in critical condition. If you perform care too early, it may have no effect, but too late, and they've already passed.
Yes. This is one thing you and I can agree on. I think both in hunting and in medicine, timing is everything.
Indeed.
Alright. And then on that note, I shall play for him the song of my people.
Oh god.
Is that hot cross buns?
Oh yes, yes.
Wow. Me and Xerxes are judging you.
You can't judge
How
me
did
more
you
than
know
I
I'm
judge
national
myself.
anthem?
Hmm?
Are you saying that in response to Josh or me?
Oh, I couldn't hear what Josh said.
Oh, I said, how did you know that was our national anthem?
God.
God damn it. Alright, next! Next!
Next!
For the love of God, next.
Oh, God.
Oh, Xerxes. Oh, baby. Lay down. Oh, that's my knee. Fuck.
You alright?
Xerxes is laying on my lap, and he moved his leg and is putting all the pressure of his body against my knee.
Ooh.
Oof.
Xerxes, for those who don't know, is 80 pounds of muscle.
80 pounds of puppy.
God, I wish that were me.
No, he is.
God damn.
Old man. Old man.
For a
Old
hot
pup.
second, I didn't know if you meant you wanted to be the dog or if you wanted to be Krista.
Yeah. No, he wants to be 80 pounds
The
of
answer is
muscle.
yes.
I want
And
to
I
be
was
80
like-
pounds of muscle.
Oh, that's it? You only want to
Lay
be
down,
80 pounds
please,
of
honey.
muscle? That's concerning.
Well, well,
please.
I mean,
That
if
would
he
be
had,
in
very
front of it,
strange.
and we'll call it good.
I mean, if he had 80 pounds of muscle, you know, he's still got skeleton and organs and all that. It's just, you know.
No, he just wants to be like a ripped as shit 9-year-old.
Moving on!
Oh man, I love Dragon Ball Z.
To be fair, what I was actually going for was that it'd be fun to be Xerxes in this situation, because then I can cuddle with my girlfriend.
That's
But
what I was. I was stuck
You
between. Do you want to be
sappy
Krista
bitch.
or?
But Xerxes is kind of hurting me right now.
Oh, okay, maybe not then.
well,
Unless you're
obviously,
into
I
that.
would know to move.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, if we can get past this hypothetical situation of Josh being a dog,
I can only whenever you see Xerxes, I can only think of the guy from 300. I'm just like,
Same.
Xerxes,
I'm imagining this
uh,
giant man laying across you, and I'm like, I can't
Xerxes
get
is
this
a
out of my
pit bull
mind.
mastiff mix.
he's a boy.
He's a chonky boy.
He's a
Anyway, second watch.
Oh, that's
second
me
wa-
this time.
Second watch, my lord.
My lord.
Na, 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 na.
Doing great.
Oh,
Na, 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 na. On this road.
Conversation.
Staring at the giant mountains. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
See. Okay. So I assume closer we get to Bran, the more silence we're gonna be getting.
Yeah, probably won't hear from me at all once we're in the city for a little bit. Small amounts.
You still have to communicate in other ways, right? Not just speech.
I mean, I can still talk.
Mhm.
It's just it'll be only when extremely necessary.
So when you need to get a point across.
Yeah, something comes up, or
Mhm.
only important things.
No.
There'll be much higher chance of coming across, others from my church, and it's not something we do. It's a lot of talking, so
Mhm. Understandable.
don't recommend the punishment.
Don't want to know. I'm hoping by the time we leave Brand, I'll have everybody looped in. As far as my agenda when we get to Gillimore. Go for it. Yeah, go for it. Hey, did I tell you?
Told me where you're from.
Oh, before I forget, I'm gonna let's just say when we get our hands on the research, I'm going to be looking to acquire a copy. For help.
I mean, if they give it to us, I don't see why we couldn't.
Just in case things go wrong, copy that will, be on a one-way trip down to Tree.
Sure. Again, unless they tell you you can't, I don't see why you couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably up to them.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure you ask first, I guess.
Yeah. Leave with civility, and everything should go fine. Once we get to Brandel, eventually sit you all down to be like, hey, yeah, that come from a city of thieves. Hope you're okay with that. That sort of thing.
I think most of them already have a pretty good idea after meeting your family.
I don't remember, Josh. Who saw the murders?
Everybody.
Everyone! Your kid literally threw a head down while we were all just standing there.
Just making sure.
I don't think you have to worry too much about surprises.
I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page and that, nobody's gonna, I'm mainly worried about Reelan. I'm gonna be honest. I'm mainly worried about the Boy Scout over there.
Guess it depends on what you steal. Probably.
The ironic thing is when I only deal in information. I don't actually literally steal anything.
I don't think he'll really care then.
Yeah.
At least from what I know about him,
I will cross the tell the Boy Scout that you're a criminal bridge when I get there.
doesn't have an issue with our necromancer doctor, so I don't know why he'd have a problem with our not personal object thieving thief.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Maybe if you don't call him Boy Scout, he'd be more open to the idea. Because he's not a boy.
But he is a scout.
Probably just call him that. But that's just, yeah.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, I've got nicknames for all of you. I got Doc. We got points to the K2 conman over there. We got
Mask 1 and Mask 2, pointing
Yeah.
for Callian and herself.
Yeah, Mask 1 and Mask 2. And then I'm still trying to figure out Rob. I'm not gonna lie, she's a curveball. A little wild.
I just looks over at Rava and looks back, and she's like, "How is Rava the curveball?"
Part of me's confused how someone can be that nice.
I don't see how that makes it difficult to come up with a nickname for her.
I'll figure it
She's
out.
literally blue. and lived under the sea. And is it like of all the people, she has the most characteristics to pull for a nickname.
I'll figure it out. I'm getting there.
K2 and Reelan are just like two guys.
I've never been so insulted.
Hey.
But being called a guy.
Two regular
We're two
dudes.
wild and crazy guys.
Oh god.
Okay. Oh god. Oh god. All right, Festrung brothers.
I'll go and wake up Third Watch.
Yeah. All right, you're talking George.
Awake.
All right. Third
Wow.
watch.
Button.
From now on, I'm just gonna address them as the two wild and crazy guys.
Conversation.
Conversation. The f-
Sarava,
Yes.
I've traveled on the sea before, but I've
Mhm.
never traveled under it. I guess what I'm getting at is, what's it like under the sea?
I hate you so
I just wanna be anywhere but here.
No, but seriously, what's it like?
It. The best way I can explain it is calm.
Okay.
All the sounds are kind of more muted.
Sure. Do you ever miss the ability to move three-dimensionally?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like, on the surface, we can go forward and backward, left and right. But we can't go up and down. Up is the sky, and we can't fly. Down is the ground. When you're in the ocean, there's depth.
Sometimes. Sometimes, especially while we're in the cart, the rocking is just right enough that it feels like the currents. And I forget for a moment that I'm not there. But it was a big change. Still adjusting, but so many things are going off. It's a good change. I do miss sometimes just floating over where the reef drops off, though. Just staring down.
Sounds nice. Would you ever want to go back?
To visit. I don't know if I could stand living there again, though. Might take a really long time before I could.
I think I'd like to see that someday. Just to see something different. Well, hopefully different, I guess.
I don't see why not. It's always good to explore new things. I wanted to show Edward whales. And if we have enough time, we can try and figure out ways to show you more of the ocean.
I'd like that.
We have to be careful about the time of year we go, though.
Do the seasons affect the ocean?
Yes, but also depending on the time of year, depends on Cyclops fish spawning season. They come up to the reef and they bite a lot.
Cyclops.
Yes, and I don't think you can swim fast enough to get away from them.
I'll have to become a better swimmer.
Or we just avoid spawning season.
True.
Mother deals with too many injuries during that time from people who think that they can outswim a cyclops fish, and it doesn't end well.
Well, I'm assuming the reason it's called a cyclops fish is because it has only one eye.
They're deep sea creatures, but they come up close to the reefs during spawn season.
Sure. But am I correct in my assumption? They only
Oh
have
yes,
the one
yes.
Okay. So, if they've only got one eye, then I guess I just don't know enough about underwater biology. When everything has depth to it, how does one survive without depth perception?
Oh, God.
That's not even like me trying to tell a joke. That's me like putting
the fuck
pieces
is up?
together.
Yeah. Their eye isn't really for seeing a whole lot. It's too dark where they normally live. So they more go off vibrations that they feel through their fins.
Oh.
Don't really get why the eye's there. I was talking to someone one time, and they were saying that it was just a leftover evolutionary trait. Or that they might use it to faintly see the glow of the other sea creatures.
Okay.
Not my field of area. Yeah. They're just really big and ugly with pointy teeth.
Okay. I have a theory, though. that would help us outrun them, or sorry, outswim them if it ever did come up. If they sense vibrations through their fin, all we have to do is create a large explosion of vibrations in order to confuse them and give us our chance to escape. If they are as deadly as they say.
We honestly just kind of avoid the reefs for a bit, and they keep population of other fish under control in the deep.
Okay, so they serve a purpose, and yeah.
Oh yeah, up in the reefs, no, but down below, yes.
Well, I wouldn't want to destroy an integral part of an ecosystem then.
Yeah. Plus, the other creatures pick off the weak ones after spawning season, so like it's this weird big deal. So, or they just get into really big fights. It's a whole thing.
Darkalion.
Yes.
Do you rely on vibrations? Because those slits in that mask are way too small, man.
No. I
It's
don't.
the pause for me.
Yeah.
How the eye slots on the mask actually get squintier as they judge you.
Yeah.
He's got the
Absolutely.
he's got like a Batman cowl setup where he sees more on the inside than actually on the outside.
I'm constantly telling Jarvis to calm down.
Sure.
Well, a mask could be so expressive.
Be surprised what a detachable eyebrows can help with.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Look out, he's got his angry eyes.
Do googly eyes exist in this world? Can we put googly eyes on Darkalions?
Oh my god. He would never
you wanna
know
get
because he never
punched,
takes
sure.
the mask off.
No, it would be.
You never
it's-
see
I-
him take the mask off.
I say it in jest. I just think it'd be funny to think about.
With the way Mike has now just put the image in my head of it's just the emoji that looks super suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I think that was a nice end to that conversation, though. Just the
Yeah.
no.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. And with that, your watch ends. Everybody gains the benefits of a long rest.
Wow.
And, we will end session there.
Wow.
Team, we traveled.
We didn't even make it to Brand.
We'll get there
Yeah.
at like the beginning. We only have half a day left, so.
All we need to do is have a travel montage set to 80s music.
Non-copyrighted.
I mean, there
Oh,
was
man.
there was a bunch of stuff you guys could have done in Nigel's Point, but you didn't. So
We got
I
our
could have investigated
Wait,
that damn
oh,
burnt
oh.
tavern thing.
I got the
Yeah,
vibe there wasn't.
yeah, a bunch of stuff. Like, and
But also,
Mention
but also, I'm going to end the stream here.
yeah,
Oh, or not stream, but the recording. So
Recording.
thank you guys
The
for
thing.
watching,
Bye.
and we'll catch you next week.
Bye.
Bye.